Think about your last vacation. Not all of it, just what comes to mind first. I'll bet you're not remembering the Tuesday afternoon. You're remembering a moment. Maybe it's watching the sunset from that cliff. Or the meal that went wrong in the best possible way. Your brain has edited weeks of experience down to a highlight reel. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That highlight reel isn't accurate. It's not even trying to be. Your memory is lying to you, and it's doing it on purpose. What if I told you that how you remember your marriage, your job, even painful medical procedures, it all comes down to 2 moments. Just 2. The peak, your most intense moment, and the end, the last note before it's over. Everything else, your brain essentially throws it away. This is called the peak end rule. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman discovered it in the 1990s, and it changes everything we think we know about experience. Here's how we assume memory works. You experience something. Your brain records it like a video camera, and the longer the experience, the more memory you create. A 2-week vacation should create twice the memories of a 1-week trip. A 30-minute painful procedure should feel worse than a 10-minute one. It makes intuitive sense. But that's not how memory works at all. Kahneman discovered that we have 2 selves, the experiencing self and the remembering self. And they operate by completely different rules. Your experiencing self lives moment to moment. It feels every second of that vacation, every minute of that procedure. It's there for the whole thing. But your remembering self, it's not recording a video, it's taking snapshots. And it only keeps 2 of them, the peak and the end. In 1993, Kahneman and psychologist Barbara Fredrickson ran an experiment that seems almost cruel by today's standards. They asked participants to submerge their hands in painfully cold water. Here's how it worked. Participants did 2 trials. Trial 1, 60 seconds with their hand in 14 degrees Celsius water. Painful. Then it was over. Trial 2, 90 seconds total. The first 60 seconds were identical, same cold water, but then the temperature quietly rose to 15 degrees for the final 30 seconds. Still cold, but slightly less painful. Then researchers asked, which trial would you repeat if you had to? Remember, trial 2 was objectively worse. 30 more seconds of pain, 30% more suffering. But participants overwhelmingly chose trial 2. They preferred more total pain because it ended better. The last 30 seconds rewrote the whole experience. This wasn't a small effect. This was people actively choosing more suffering because their memory edited the experience. The ending trumped everything. 3 years later, Kahneman took this insight somewhere it could actually change lives, into the colonoscopy clinic. The results would transform medical thinking. Working with physician Donald Rettelmeyer, Kahneman studied 682 patients undergoing colonoscopies. Every 60 seconds during the procedure, patients rated their pain on a scale. After the procedure, patients gave an overall rating of how unpleasant it was. Here's where it gets interesting. The length of the procedure had almost no effect on that rating. The correlation between procedure duration and patient evaluation was 0.03. Essentially 0, a procedure could last twice as long, and patients wouldn't remember it as much worse. What did matter? 2 things: the most painful moment, the peak, and how much pain they felt at the end. Duration was essentially invisible to memory. So Kahneman and Rettelmeyer tried something. For half the patients, they extended the procedure, keeping the colonoscope in place for an extra minute at the end, but not moving it. No additional diagnostic value, just less pain at the finish. The result? Patients who had the longer procedure, more total time, same peak pain, remembered it as significantly less unpleasant. And they were more likely to return for follow-up colonoscopies. Think about that. By adding pain, technically making the experience worse, doctors made patients remember it as better, and potentially saved lives by encouraging preventive screenings. This phenomenon, the complete disregard for duration, became known as duration neglect. And it shows up everywhere, not just in medical settings. In 2022, researchers published a comprehensive meta-analysis, 174 different effect sizes from studies spanning decades. They wanted to know, is this peak end thing real, or just a quirk of a few experiments? The answer was unambiguous. The peak effect was large, correlation of 0.58, which in psychology is massive. This isn't subtle. This is how memory actually works. The end effect was medium-sized but robust across different types of experiences: positive, negative, medical, recreational. The pattern held everywhere researchers looked. And duration neglect? Confirmed across the board. How long something lasts matters far less to memory than we ever imagined. Your experiencing self and remembering self really do live in different worlds. So what does this mean for your actual life? Let's start with something everyone does: vacation planning. Research shows that vacation duration has negligible effects on remembered happiness. A 3-week trip doesn't create 3 times the good memories of a 1-week trip. It barely creates more at all. What matters is the peak moment, that incredible meal, that unexpected encounter, that view that stopped you in your tracks, and how the trip ended. Those 2 moments will become the vacation in memory. This has profound implications for relationship satisfaction too. Think about a marriage or a long friendship or any relationship that spans years. Your memory of that relationship won't be the accumulation of every Tuesday night dinner and every mundane morning. It'll be the peaks, the fights, the breakthroughs, the moments of intense connection. And here's the part that might keep you up at night. It'll be the ending. How a relationship ends disproportionately shapes how you remember the entire thing. Researchers studying gift-giving found a similar pattern. When people opened presents in sequence from worst to best, they reported being much happier than those who opened the best gift first. Same gifts, same total experience, but the sequence changed everything. And on a high note, and the whole experience glows differently in memory. The peak end rule even shows up in how we evaluate our workdays. A day filled with minor frustrations but ending with a small win feels better than a smooth day that ends with an annoying email. Your brain isn't keeping score of every moment. It's waiting for peaks and endings, then writing the story of your day based on those 2 data points. Mental health researchers have begun applying this understanding to therapeutic contexts. A therapy session that ends with a moment of hope or insight may be remembered more positively than one that simply stops. This has led some practitioners to deliberately structure sessions to end on constructive notes. Not to manipulate, but to shape how the healing work is remembered and integrated. So what do you do with this knowledge? First, consider how you end things. Meetings, presentations, difficult conversations. The final moments carry disproportionate weight. You might want to end difficult conversations with something constructive. Not fake positivity, but a genuine forward-looking thought. That ending will shape how the whole exchange is remembered. For experiences you're planning, vacations, celebrations, events, consider investing more heavily in the ending. A spectacular final day may create better memories than spreading highlights evenly. If you're in healthcare or wellness, or even just supporting someone through a difficult experience, consider that gradual relief at the end may be remembered better than an abrupt stop. For your exercise routine, research suggests ending sessions at lower intensity may create more positive associations. Finishing with a gentle cool down rather than pushing to exhaustion might make you more likely to return. And here's a thought for relationships. Pay attention to how your interactions end. Not every conversation needs a dramatic conclusion, but chronic negative endings accumulate into the story memory tells about that person. There's something almost unsettling about the peak end rule. It means your memories are accurate records. They're stories your brain constructs from limited data. But there's also something liberating about it. You can't change the past, but you can change how your future self will remember the present. Every experience is an opportunity to craft a peak. Every ending is a chance to write the last line of that memory. The story isn't finished until you decide how it ends. If this changed how you think about memory and experience, consider subscribing. We explore the psychology of everyday life every week. And hitting like helps others find these ideas too. Your brain isn't recording your life like a documentary. It's selecting highlights and writing endings. The peak end rule isn't a flaw. It's how meaning gets made from the chaos of continuous experience. So, the next time you're in the middle of something, anything, remember, you're not just living the experience, you're writing the memory. Make the ending count.